I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, everybody. We'll do a roll call here, see if we got a quorum. Baumgartner is not here right now. Evers here, Ferguson
Here.
I'm here. Howard here. We do have a quorum. We'll call the meeting to order here. We'll begin here with the public forum. This is a time where the public is invited to engage council. When addressing the council, we ask that you please provide your name for the meeting record. Speaking time will be limited to 3 minutes. If there's any unfinished business after that 3 minutes, we'll have it taken care of or we'll discuss further outside of the meeting here. Just let you guys know your item is down here in discussion, so you don't need to do the public forum thing unless you have other business.
Aaron is gonna close out the project during public forum.
Okay, all right. Go ahead, Aaron, then you can just state your name for the public record here and
Come up to the table. It's not your first review.
My name is Aaron Gergensen. I had an issue to the memorial in Olivia. I apologize for the delay on handing the memorial over to the city. I want to make sure that everything was in order before I hand over for a smooth transition. I like to get with the current state of memorial. I had a total of 100 favors, of which approximately 25 are blank and can be added to. I raised $43,000 for my addition. With the funding, I was able to add another section of walkway to place memorial stones by $10,000 of concrete was donated by Double J Dynamic Concrete. I also had 6 telescoping flagpoles for each of the branches of service. I had 1 solid double flagpole for the Gold Star families and Blue Star owners. I added more seating for the memorial by adding 4 additional benches. You will also see 2 bronze plaques at the memorial. One is for Purple Heart recipients to honor those who sacrifice those individuals made. Second is for Medal of Honor recipients. There is also a bronze folded flag at the base of the Gold Star family and Blue Star Polish flag. Today I'm requesting to know what email the city would like us to use to share the document containing other information regarding the memorials. I would like to express interest in setting up a meeting with whoever the city designates as taking care of the memorial. I'd like to explain to who we used to vendor and the materials to make up their replacing items easier and keeping the items looking the same. Finally, I'd like to take a few moments to thank the city of Olivia for allowing me to use the addition to the memorial as my U.S. ceremony. I will have the shovel used for the German ceremony over to City Hall soon. Thank you. At this time, is there any questions for me?
Good job. Do we have any Medal of Honor recipients from the local area, not necessarily Olivia, but do you know?
I have with them.
Okay.
We'll set up the meeting, myself, Craig, and you to go over all of that.
yeah, just want to thank you, and the family and the scouts for all the great stuff you guys have done for our community over there at the memorial park. It's absolutely beautiful. There are people stopping there all the time to walk the walk and taking pictures, and it's just a really nice pillar of our community and really important way for us to recognize our veterans, and we really appreciate all the hard work and the beautiful addition to the community.
Yeah, thank you.
And yeah, like Elizabeth said, she'll get you all the information, and we'd be happy to receive the information about the vendors you use in case any repairs need to be made. We can make sure we match the colors and all that stuff. So we appreciate that information as well. It'll be very helpful in the future. We'll be very good stewards of this, we promise.
And you can use my email address.
Do you wanna just send that to me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks, Ann.
Thanks.
Anybody else from the public wish to address council? Not seeing any here or online. We'll close down the public forum portion of the meeting and open up the setting of the agenda. So, we've had the agenda here for a few days. If there's anything from the consent agenda that we would like to move to the discussion items, now would be a great time to do that. So I'll either entertain a motion to move something from the consent agenda, or I'll entertain a motion to approve the agenda as it's written.
Make a motion to approve the agenda.
Second.
Motion's been made by Evers, seconded by Ferguson to approve the agenda as written. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, agenda is set as written. We'll move down to the consent agenda here. It contains our meeting minutes and work session minutes from September 15. Resolution 92, which is authorizing employment to Carissa Kurth as full-time liquor store manager. Resolution 93 is a step movement for Susie Lang. 94 is a step move for Christy Wiedemann. 95 is a step move for Jasmine Miller. 96 is accepting a quote for concrete work. 97 is accepting a quote from RDO Equipment for a John Deere 544P. 98 is authorizing and directing the city admin to execute and deliver the League of Minnesota Cities liability coverage waiver form whereby the city does not waive monetary limits on municipal tort liability established by Minnesota statutes 466.04. Resolution 99 is approving the community engagement grant agreement with Minnesota River Agency on Aging. Resolution 100, as a part of that, is establishing the Energy and Climate Resilience Planning and Advisory Committee. Resolution K is an appointment to a member to that committee. L is pay application for Marcus Construction. M is firm electric service contract number 12, UGPR 1082. Amendment number 1 between the city of Olivia and WAPA. N is renewable energy certificate designated entity contract between WAPA and Olivia. And O is September disbursements. I'll call for a motion to approve tonight's consent agenda.
So move.
Second.
Motion's been made by Evers, seconded by Ferguson. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Consent agenda carries as written. We'll move down to the discussion items. We've got to go through the public hearing process here on rezoning the parcel of land located at 101 3rd Street. Looking at rezoning that from R2 high density to a B1 highway business, and we'll also have a discussion about amending the official zoning map to reflect this change here. So the process is that we'll temporarily recess the meeting and open up a public hearing, and we'll do that. A motion needs to be made and passed to go into closed session.
Nope, that's for later on in the agenda. Sorry, that's just the public hearing.
Got it.
You're good to go.
Right. Okay. So anyway, we'll temporarily recess the meeting and take staff reports.
I need to state.
You can just introduce yourself, sure.
Okay, I'm Marissa Castillo, the planning and zoning administrator. I'm here to give you a brief overview of the zoning application. 2025 RZ001 was submitted by the Olivia Economic Development Authority. It requests to amend the official zoning map and reclassify the parcel located in Peterson's second edition from R2 high residential district to B1 highway business district. They propose to transform this infill lot which was previously a residential lot into a commercial lot to have a small scale commercial site. The planning commission reviewed their application at their regular meeting on September 8th. And after consideration of the staff report, interview with the applicant and the comprehensive plan, the planning commission found that the proposed rezoning would be consistent with the city's future land use map. And it supports multiple goals and strategies within the comprehensive plan. Following their deliberation, they unanimously adopted resolution 2025-004, formally recommending to the city council to approve the rezoning request. Their resolution, their findings of facts in the future land use map have been provided for your reference. Along with the application from the EDA. If there is any questions, I'm here to answer them.
I'm guessing they won the bid.
Yes.
Yes,
Yeah, July, yes.
July 30th.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if you'll recall, we had a conversation, it's been a couple months now, where we were taking a look at this parcel, and this board decided that it made more sense for the EDA to take action on this piece of land. And so with that, the EDA was looking to get this rezoned for commercial business to try and get some sort of business in there, I guess. So we need to if that is consistent with what the council wants, we need to go ahead and pass this ordinance to rezone. Are there any questions or anything from a zoning standpoint from Marissa?
Yes, just, you said the applicant, is the applicant the EDA that they're trying, so it's not that we got somebody on the hook for this property already?
No.
Okay, okay.
The rezoning request can only come from the property owner, and right now it's the EDA.
Good question though. Any other questions?
So just turn that into business district 1, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, we already discussed that a few weeks ago, like you said, yeah, and then, so we got it now, we own
The EDA owns it.
it. Yeah.
They applied to do the rezoning. They went through the planning commission and they have formally recommended to approve that to the council.
Okay. I do apologize for being late.
It's all good. Well, Marissa, I don't think there are any questions coming your way. So at this point, we would be happy to receive any public comment on this potential rezoning of that parcel. Anybody from the public here wish to discuss ordinance 8, the rezoning of the parcel located at 101 3rd Street? Not seeing any movement on that either, so we'll just go ahead and close the public hearing and reopen the regular meeting. So in front of us is actually the ordinance 2025-08, which is the rezoning of the parcel located at 101 3rd Street from an R2 high density residential to B1 highway business, and also amending the official zoning map of the city of Olivia. There appears to be some momentum on here, so I'll just call for a motion to approve ordinance 8.
So moved.
Second.
Motion's been made by Howard, seconded by Ferguson to approve ordinance 8. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Alright,
Any opposed? All right, ordinance 8 carries as written. Thank you. Thank you, Marissa. Okay, we have the Jurgensens here today to talk about the Olivia Haunted House. From my understanding is they're hoping to host this at the Armory Community Center, and we're trying to figure out a good way to make this lease as soft as possible, I guess, while still preserving the integrity of the leasing system, so, anyway.
So, again, we're looking at doing the haunted house. Worked well last year, Adam and Blanco graciously donated their space. I think we had about 300 people that came through.
Yeah, there's.
The year prior,
Scary.
the year prior, I believe we've had about 300 people through.
Okay.
So again, we're trying to kind of plan for about 300 people, maybe even more, because
Sweet.
we've seen that we started to draw some people from Redwood Wilmer last year. Somebody had asked when they were coming through. So hopefully we can keep expanding. Obviously, with the bigger we get, the more space we need. And the armory just seems to be a really good fit.
It's just a nice solid structure to be able to have it. Again, you guys were so gracious to let us use it, but it was so hard with all the plastic.
Yeah,
Where we had to stop because kids would rip it down and then we were feared that they would wreck the ceilings, where at the armory, we don't have to do that.
Yeah.
Like it's already kind of mapped out where we can kind of.
pretty
do-
solid walls.
It's pretty solid.
Pretty solid, yeah.
Really solid.
Yeah,
Yeah, when the city first got the army, my first thought was like, yes, the haunted house will have it home.
so our biggest thing is, I did send Elizabeth kind of scribbled out area of the rooms. We were kind
I
of
can pull it up.
looking.
Cool.
That was me. I hit the wrong button. I am muted by myself. I apologize.
That was my hearing aids.
We were talking about the haunted house. It was ghost light.
Yeah. Somebody should have said,
It's just a ghost, right? That's all it is.
So for the most part, this year we've kind of been in talks with, not Fiesta City, who is the inflatable.
The
something time.
People from Renville or?
The one's actually from Olivia, everything that they have is from Olivia. They did the stuff for family fun night for the
So,
Yeah, I know that the
fun for
ambulance
all or
uses for
something
the,
like that.
Yeah.
So I have been talking with them a little bit, seeing what we can kind of work out with them, just to see. Again, our biggest thing is finding somewhere safe for the kids to go, which is ideally why we kind of started it, kind of were asked to do it, kind of we don't really know how we even acquired it, but we enjoy doing it. So I guess our biggest, she hasn't pulled up. No.
We love Silken House, we know you guys love Halloween.
yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
I didn't get to add, I don't like that this year, but.
Our biggest area is when you go into the armory, we're not really looking for the gym space to really need that for multiple days. Really, that's our biggest area for kind of a holding area for kids. It's somewhere warm for them to go. Families really seem to enjoy being able to bring their kids. If we did the inflatables, that's kind of where we were looking at for that, just to give them something to do while they wait, because some people waited about an hour to come through. So looking at the garage space. One, because it's kind of a creepy space where you can really kind of do whatever you need with it. And then going downstairs into like the kitchen area. So going down the stairs to the kitchen, kind of the same thing we used the first year. That we did this, it worked out really well. It was minimal setup. We were able to kind of get in and get out very quick. Without a ton of setup. We were looking back at last year and I think we had 2 months of setup. So I mean, it was a lot of setup. Just because we didn't have any walls.
Yeah.
So when we look at that, again, the armory was the best space that we can utilize, if we're still able to utilize that, of course. We figured about 2 weeks, but we can kind of play with things a little bit. Our biggest spaces that obviously the garage would be a big space, just so that we would have the room to kind of do what we need with that and get everything ready just to put everywhere else. So that's kind of, I guess, right, what we're kind of requesting is just being able to utilize the space. Now that the city has it, what are you looking at for us? I mean, we would love to be able to have that donated to us, just because we do this for the community. And it's not cheap for us to do it, of course.
No.
The first year, I think we spent right around $5,000 out of our own pockets, just for everything, for setup and everything. Last year, the chamber really helped us, different businesses around for donations. And I believe we got about $4,000 worth of donations, so we only spent about $1,000 to $2,000 out of our own pockets. So this is something, obviously, I'm kind of added for Halloween.
Yeah.
But it's something that I enjoy giving back to the community, being part of the community for so long. It's just nice to have that, but also being able to do that without having to worry about how am I gonna continue to support
Right.
my own family. And that's where Wendy's kind of been my little Jiminy Cricket to rein me in, but,
But again, the armory works so well, just because on Halloween, that is the one day that we're doing it this year, we're not gonna do it multiple days, things like that. One, staffing gets to be really hard for us, because we can't seem to find a lot of volunteers that are wanting to do it. And it works really well with the fire department, with their fire truck rides, it's right across the street, it's right downtown. So if we can keep the kids in one area, it definitely makes a safe place for kids to be able to go. Especially also since they're not doing the Harvest Fest or whatever in Rhode Island. They used to do the Jacobs, I think, used to do that, where they're not having that, obviously, so it's just somewhere safe to have the kids, and I know it's something that. With little kids, they definitely appreciate it. So I guess we're just here to ask, obviously, for the consent permission, and then just to see what's needed of us. For that, if it's rent, we'll have to figure that out for that, or if it's something that the city would donate us to be able to use it for a couple weeks. Talking with Elizabeth, I know that there's a few different events that are going in there. And we'll work around whatever events that we need to have in there. Of course, we're not using the big main space. And we can wait for a couple days to tape off some of the areas that we need to tape off in there. Just to be able to put things in the spaces where we know no one's going to be.
Yeah, we have Just for Kicks those Tuesdays, and then we have, we're partnering with Bold Community Ed to do the Parents' Night Out on October 24th. Because the gym space right now at the school is obviously very lacking.
Oh, cool.
But the gym space you wouldn't need till the end, right?
No,
No,
Only
the Bold
put them in-
Community Ed is looking at doing the gym and then that dining hall space. And then I have had discussions with Just for Kicks about maybe the Tuesday night, October, I believe it's 28th. Of having them instead of in the dining hall, of having them in one of the upstairs rooms, because they don't have the upstairs room, and that would just be for that week. So.
And if there's spaces that are used, we would just. Not utilize them until last minute, the gym, we just use inflatables in there, so it's just a plug and go and we're good in there. But the other areas, just knowing which ones we can start
Cool.
doing what you want us to do with it.
If I remember correctly, if there are any donations or suggested donations, that all gets donated.
Yeah.
Right?
Mhm.
So there's actually no income coming in back to you guys
Mhm.
personally.
No,
and in the last 2 years, it's really worked well. We've had the food drive. If anybody comes in and has a food item to donate, then they go through. Otherwise, a free will donation, and we donated the food and the money the first year to the food shelf.
Yeah.
The food went to the food shelf last year, and then the money went to,
we did half of it to a food shelf and then we did half of it to an organization that was needing something. I'd have to look at.
Was it one of the red ones?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yep, so we had the Redwood Boy Scout troop come down, and then we were able to help them.
But they
donate.
also were volunteering
Correct.
to get that.
Yes.
Those
Yep,
donations.
so they had popcorn and cotton candy and all the things that they were selling there to be able to do that too. So we were able to kind of help out different organizations, and that's our biggest thing is being able to give to the community and local communities.
Right, I really appreciate the haunted house, it's great. I mean, not just from a city standpoint, also from a tourism standpoint, you know, it brings people in from other communities to see. You know, at that same time, they're parking and going to the grocery store or the arcade or down, you know, getting gas in town, so. I think it really benefits and having a place for our kids to go. I don't know how anybody else feels, but I'm gonna go ahead and say it, is there any way that we can just not have them? Pay rent, or is it strict, it's because it's a
Do it for
volunteer
rent.
thing? It's
So,
not-
I would certainly encourage you to apply for a tourism grant. I don't know if tourism necessarily, they'd have to decide whether renting a facility falls under their jurisdiction. They could certainly help with advertising.
I would assume that it would, just because I mean, it's.
I know it's gone to rent for like music vendors and things
Yeah.
like that.
Same thing.
I'm
Yeah.
very excited about the haunted house. I'm very wary to set the precedent of zero rent at the
Oh,
Armory,
for
especially as we are trying to make the community center as self-sustaining as possible. And we need to look at the public purpose, and it would be considered expending funds because we're not charging funds. And is this fulfilling that public purpose kind of checkbox? So for those reasons, I'm very hesitant, I'm very supportive of the haunted house, but I'm very hesitant to say $0. Just because of the task you all have given me with trying to make it a sustainable community
And
center.
that's why she's an amazing hire.
Well, I know at the end of the year, people are gonna come to me and be like, it needs to make more money,
Right.
so
Right,
I'm
so
trying to walk that fine line.
there are ways that the city can help you find funds to cover that rent, do you, so then it would be for 2 weeks and then that many rooms?
I mean, so there are a couple different ways to look at it. If you look at it with Just for Kicks is paying about $450 a month for their program. If you're looking at renting out the facility for 2 weeks, half of $450 is $225.
Okay.
That's significantly cheaper than if we would take the daily rate of every single
Yeah.
room for 2 weeks, which I totaled that up, that was close to $3,000. The other thing that you could suggest is, do you suggest that there is an admission fee? And a percentage of the admission fee then goes to that building rent. The city takes,
Right, I
You know,
get
if
what
it's
you're saying
$5
here,
a
but then
person-
you have to find a volunteer to do a clicker and
Yeah.
trust me, through the film festival, nobody gets a clicker right, I can tell you.
I'm just
Every-
exploring
yeah.
different options on what type of.
Well, I
Not only
support what you're saying, and there's a lot of pressure from me for trying to
I didn't call you out.
make sure that one of the goals
Like
of
I'm
that
coming.
building is to make it cash flow, so
Yeah.
the city of Olivia isn't bankrolling it. Because we also need to try to save up some money for when the roof eventually goes bad, for when these problems happen, and then it's gonna be the city's responsibility. So I cannot in good conscience say, yeah, take it for free.
Right.
I would like to adhere to the the rates that we have, and you can cobble together whatever the most economical rates are. Sounds like you've kind of already done that. But in thinking about this, it also I used to be in the Lions Club. This is a perfect thing to go to the Lions Club and ask for a donation to cover the rent so that you can benefit the community. It's like what they're there for. And maybe Kiwanis and
And
maybe
Kiwanis.
or whoever else is in town. And I would encourage them, if they're listening, to support you
Reach out.
guys, cause I am in support of what you're doing. I just can't betray myself and say, yeah, you can have this for free, and then Katie bar the door for who else asks.
Right,
Right?
and we understand that 100% with all of that, so just kind of knowing what's expected on that side so that we do know what we need to do for fundraising. Again, like Mark said, the chamber has been great on being able to help us get some funds, just to make sure that we're not going farther in the negative for it, because if we go farther in the negative, unfortunately, we'll have to pull out and we
Yeah.
won't be able to do the haunted house for the community anymore. Because we can't use our residents and the residents that was previously, there's a lot of mold and stuff like that in that house where we can't.
Plus, it's actually haunted.
Right.
And you have something to
Yes.
comment?
Yeah, Mr. Mayor, sorry, it sounds like maybe I don't even need to say this. But there are, for a statutory city, there's 2 criteria for expending funds, and as Elizabeth said, this is expending funds by not charging what you would otherwise charge. So it would be seen that way. So it's furthering a public purpose, which I think this certainly does. This promotes community, but the second piece of that is that you have to have some kind of statutory authorization to do that. And this doesn't fit as neatly within any statute that I could find. There's statutory exceptions for community festivals that celebrate your history. That would be the closest that this is, and it's not really quite a fit. So there is some question as far as whether there's a statutory authority. Certainly develops community 100%, but that other piece is a little bit of a reach.
How about on the left side here?
I'd be fine with like the 220.5 if they're gonna take it for 2 weeks. Like that, and that's not a big ask for a community group,
Right.
despite the Lions would.
The
probably
Lions
be a
meet
good
tomorrow
point.
night at 7 o'clock at Max's, if you wanna reach out to them.
You know,
I
Kiwanis
know
meets
one.
on Thursdays, I can give you the dates, I'm a member of both of those groups.
Yeah, and whatever we do here, just wanna make sure it's not a one-off. We need to
This
be able to
makes-
do it again. If we're doing it for you, we should be able to do it for somebody else so it can be equal.
Well, and if it's a similar community oriented project, then I could get behind that. But somebody having a birthday party in there is going to be afforded the same.
Well, they wouldn't
Well,
have. it for
that's
2
where I'm
weeks
saying,
either.
whatever we afford here
It's
is
saying
gonna
2
be
weeks.
for anybody, I think, in a similar situation. I don't think we can carve out, oh, this is a community project, so here's your new rate for community projects. Because I can't define that all the time.
Right.
And the statute she already said, like legally, that's dicey.
Yeah.
And that's where I think we put together whatever a reasonable rent is based on our fee structure.
Yeah.
And then we ask the community groups like the Lions and those guys, that's what their purpose is.
Yeah.
You know, and I would
Are we deciding the
make
rate
some
right
phone
now?
calls on your behalf if that's useful.
Well, I think in moving forward in Councilmember Baumgartner's comments, I mean, the other part of the test that this one I think easily meets is any group that you want to do similar treatment for, you still have to further that public purpose. So a private birthday party, for example, wouldn't be furthering a public purpose. So there is that to keep in mind too.
Yeah, I was struggling with this one too, guys. Like I totally, I want that community center to be as full as possible. I want the Halloween, the haunted house to be in there too. And I want any future councils to look at that community center as being something that is somewhat sustainable as well. So hopefully we can find a soft enough medium there. Hopefully that 225 is a good number. I was thinking like $1 a piece, but 225 sounds like it'll even be more of a lighter lift than a dollar per.
Well,
Right.
I guess I would question if is 225 right, or is that a sweetheart deal that we don't wanna create?
Right.
No, because we're charging
That's-
$450 a month for just for kicks,
But,
so half of that.
right, but, okay, so mathematically, that's 4 days a month.
It is, you're right, but I was just looking at their monthly rent and dividing it by.
Right, but
Yeah.
now you're bringing us into another realm with, guys, you know, Matt and I back up the haunted house
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
110%.
And we are gonna say, hey, you know, we're looking for the lowest deal. I just
Right,
need to know
What the number is.
what the
Yeah.
number is so we
Yeah.
can plan for it, because again, we get donations from community service or community businesses. So maybe it's just that we supply more of that towards rent versus,
Or maybe
Like
it's something that
animatronics or something.
we have to charge an admission. Instead of it going to the food shelf, we might not be able to do the food shelf this year. Maybe I have to say.
well, I think, well, and I
maybe
think,
it's $1 a head coming in the door to be able to pay for the facility.
What about if you, like, you go to Kiwanis, you go to Lions, they give you the money, whatever it is, maybe it's 1,000, maybe it's 2,000, I don't know. But then you let them put out a basket for Olivia Lions, you know, paid the rent, free will offering or something, and then that maybe blunts some of it.
well, so. We need to find a number that is gonna work. And the thing is that maybe when you write the letters or do the ask, you're not asking for 5,000, you're asking for the 5,000 that, cause you guys, the problem with the haunted house, not problem, but you know, is that you have to have new things, cause everything from last year, everybody already knows.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So every year you have to change up, so that number, that 5,000 to set up the haunted house. Is pretty much a stable number to set up the haunted house. So instead of asking for 5,000, why don't you ask for, let's say if the rent is 1,000, then ask for 6,000. You know what I mean? And then whatever you get in, you cover that 6,000 first, and anything beyond that. Then you go ahead and donate, but first repay the
Yeah.
haunted house. That, you know what I'm saying? Like, maybe the donation part isn't the community part, the community part is actually the haunted house.
Right.
And you guys not paying out of pocket, because
Right.
trust me, I know
Yeah,
what paying out of pocket for this community.
So if you're
I do it
looking,
all the time, and it's just more sustainable for you to do it, if you just keep all that to cover the cost, and you're not covering the cost personally.
And every year we're able to kind of reuse some of the things that we currently have. It's not like we buy things and we can't reuse them. I mean, we keep the plastic and we keep certain things, so obviously our initial goal is that every year it's not going to cost $500 or $5,000. But again, the first few years, it's going to, in order to get enough product, to be able to have that, plus we're also paying for a storage shed to keep everything in, because my house is definitely not big enough to store everything.
Dan, I mean, you have amazing setups, it's not, you know what I mean, it's not like you're making something out of, you know what I mean, they're actual real
Yeah.
setups, and they're amazing and
and
they're
my-
appreciated.
My biggest focus, I guess, is to make sure that this does not come down to having to charge for admission.
Mhm.
Just because I think that's why we have as many people through as we do, is it's somewhere safe for them to go and they don't have to worry about a fistful of money to go with before they go out the door, they can just go and.
That kid who wants to go through 10 times can go through 10 times,
I think that's my kid.
probably, but that's okay. We
Robert loves that.
But again, our biggest thing is somewhere safe for the kids to go, because nowadays. It's not safe to have your kids sometimes go door to door.
Right.
So when I look at it, I want somewhere safe that my kids can go, my grandkids can go, things like that. I want somewhere where they can be safe. To be able to go, and you know that if you send your kids down to us, that you know that they're safe, that there's something for them to do. So I guess that's our biggest goal is. Let us know, I guess, the number you guys are looking at. We can talk to the chamber, they can probably maybe see if they can help us with that. Just to be able to get a number in the books. Just so we know going forward what we're looking at, and if there's events in those areas. Let us know, we're willing to obviously work around them for the couple weeks that we would be in there.
It sounds like there's an agreement.
So yeah, if you're going with the, again, the Just for Kicks, $4.50 a month divided by 4 for a day. $112.50 times their 14 days would be $1,575.
So, but whatever the goal, thanks for that math, that's helpful. So what we wanna do is find something that's lightweight, something that makes logical sense, something that is repeatable. If somebody wants to come and do, an Easter event or something, you know what I'm saying? So what are we thinking? So is
Should we do like a long-term rate for over like a week for event? Pam, how did you word that? When the event is benefiting the community?
Public purpose.
Yeah, furthering a public purpose. It
Furthering
can't,
a
it
public-
can't further a private interest, primarily further a private interest.
Okay,
So
So-
it's furthering a public purpose.
So thinking about other users of the set, let's say somebody wants to set up for a wedding in there and they wanna have a week to set up.
yeah.
And as long as other things aren't booked, do we have a
That's
setup
not-
rate?
That's not furthering a public, that's a private.
Yeah, I think
So
at that point you
fall
can
under-
say it's not
Okay.
furthering a public purpose.
Yes, this is like if somebody's gonna do, like a St. Patrick's Day or, something like that for the community or. Like a corn capital days thing that furthers the community involvement. Then you get this rate, not if it's a wedding,
And then
a
the key
birthday,
thing is you can't make profit off of it.
right? Yeah, there's no profit being.
We definitely don't do that.
Yeah, no, and I'm not saying that your case, I'm just
Not a
saying.
problem.
That needs to be.
And community, nonprofit,
And
let's
you
go.
know how
So-
sometimes it is hard to get donations the way it is. We have not seen anything yet from the chamber, so I don't know where any of that's at either, so.
I would,
Right.
I would also say that you take a look at the Just for Kicks lease and just looking at the group. It kind of feels like $1 a person.
Well, and I mean, what if we set like $50 a day? So that would be what, for 14?
So your single space fee, which is no equipment needed, just you want the gym for all day, is $60. But that's for one room, that's not for the whole building.
Well, this would be for like reservations over 10 days, this wouldn't be for a reservation, a daily reservation.
Gotcha.
This is so if we make it, Pam, is that possible to make it that it has to be a minimum of 10 days? And then, or, you know what I mean, like this isn't for us to do. Or do you wanna do the
What,
daily gym rate? I don't know.
can I make a suggestion perhaps? Is it reasonable to have staff go and like work on this a little bit?
Sure.
Because I don't know if we can do it live here. in a way
Yeah.
That's.
So the problem is that these people want to.
They need an app.
Yeah, so what I picked up on is $1,578, that would be like the high water mark, right?
That's if you're kind of basing it off of a rough calculation of what Just for Kicks pays per day.
So
There
why don't-
is-
Is it, if it's reasonable, why don't you take that number as it will not to exceed 15,700.
$1,575.
Not
If you
to
round up,
exceed
not to exceed 1,600.
I don't
Okay.
know that that's honestly justifiable. I don't know.
No, not to exceed,
Right, that's-
not to go
Okay.
over, it could go under, it just can't go over.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't think we can even do it as 1,000, just because it gets to be
Right,
so much
that's-
where I don't know where else to move it to, that it's cost effective for us. Again, we were just looking for a safe place for it, and I know you guys have a lot of other stuff in this fix.
We just need to
No,
figure it
right.
out.
No, that's fine,
Right.
you're,
You need the full 2 weeks?
The
It's
biggest
gonna be
thing for the
close.
full 2 weeks is, I mean, we obviously
They
work
work.
full-time jobs, so I mean, Blanca knows that we come in sometimes.
when.
7 o'clock at night until 10 o'clock at night, and that's considered a day, so we're not in there full days. It's just, I literally just need the room to put it, and I could set up a room in 10 minutes, but. I need to be able to know where to put things, and the first year we did it, I think we had 3 days. It worked, but I need the man staff in order to help me move things, so we're not in there for a 12-hour day trying to set things up to figure out, are they gonna run? Cause we have 1 day to pull this off that day.
Here's how I would want you guys to reconsider the Just for Kicks split in half model. So Just for Kicks has this long lease going on with us. And you know, we can divide all we want with actual days that they're there, but they're storing stuff at the armory as well. So it's not a stretch of the imagination to cut the Just for Kicks rental in half. It's going to be 1 or 2 people setting things up. The armory will be in kind of passive use. You know, where you know, it's not gonna be sucking down the resources crazy. I really do believe that that's a logical way to look at it, just taking the Just for Kicks lease. It's gonna be half the time as a month of Just for Kicks and using that as just a. If it needs to be refined further, that's cool, but I think it's a great starting point and perhaps a fair place to start for this year. Do you get what I'm saying? Am I making any sense here?
Yes, you are.
We're ideally just storing things in the rooms, and we'll avoid the rooms that you guys need to use for the bold the bold night, and then anything with Just for Kicks. I mean, we'll avoid those areas, but ideally it really is just storing things in the rooms until the one day that we actually need the facility. Everything else is going to be after hours when Just for Kicks is done. Then we'll go in there and make sure that we have those areas kind of decorated. That's what we did the very first night we did it. Just for Kicks was in there on Tuesday and we pulled it off on a Thursday. So I don't know how we did it, but again, we did it.
And this could also be another situation for us to advertise this facility. Because you still have some members of the community, although we've put stuff in the paper, we've put stuff there, here, wherever. But there are still people in the community that don't understand.
Yeah.
That it's open, that it's available.
Yeah.
So to be able to have a couple of easel signs or something in this building while this is going on. So that people are coming through and seeing that it is available for a birthday party and a bridal shower and
Yeah.
a reception and all these things. That ends up being a win-win for us. And it's a huge opportunity for us, being the amount of people that they do reach with this program. That is a huge opportunity for us to be able to get the word out that this is here. And while they're in there, they're getting a chance to look and see, hey, we could do a reception in here, or we could do a quinceanera in here, or whatever the case may be. This is big enough for us to do it. Now we don't have to try and do it in Uncle Joe's barn or whatever.
So
What's the goal here? We need to get you a number?
ideally, we'd like to get them a number because their event is at the end of this month, and if they have to go to a Lions Club meeting, which only meets once a month. Kiwanis has had their first October meeting, they have one more October meeting.
Right.
It'd be nice to get them an idea of a number. Before they leave tonight, so they know.
I'd encourage the council to come to an agreement tonight, just
Well-
knowing that the next time this happens, we can have a solid metric saying, okay, you're gonna be passively using it for 10 days, you're gonna be actively using it for 3 days, this is what the rate will be. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, but I don't feel like we can do that tonight, cause I just feel like we need, like, let staff pull together something so we can have a
You
table.
can't
to look
wait
at.
because they need to go ask for the funds. For a meeting tomorrow night, that's not gonna happen again. You know what I mean? They need to present it
understand,
tomorrow
I
night.
understand.
If we do set the top rate. And then we come back in October with options under that top rate,
Get a pledge.
they have an idea for what to
$1,600.
ask for.
And then I don't think it's gonna be $1,600 if we have a chance to look at it. What I don't wanna do is force through something right now that then later we come back and have to dismantle, and we got other people that say, well, wait, I wanted to use that. Like, I feel like you're opening a can of worms if you try to push this through without a little more thought.
I think we're making a bigger deal of it than we should. Honestly.
Maybe, but that's how I
Cause
feel.
other than the haunted
I feel like
house,
the world's way too much worst case, and let's do something nice for the people that actually wanna use the thing. We're not saying you can have it for free. You
Yeah.
know? And they're only gonna use it for one night, they're just gonna store some stuff there for a couple days, big deal, so you charge them.
I mean, I could get in there, I
times a
could
day,
get in and
right?
out in one day if I had 50 people to help me set up, I could make for one day, but I need manpower.
To me, I
That's
like
the
the
reason.
idea of doing the half the. Just for kicks fee.
And I would agree with that. That's reasonable.
The conversation is not being productive anymore, so if you guys wanna take action on it,
I like to make a motion that we charge $225 for them to use the armory. Haunted house for the dates that they've requested.
I'll second that.
got a motion made by Evers, seconded by Howard to set the price at $225 for the haunted house for 2 weeks of armory setup and execution. Any further discussion?
Yes, in principle, I support this. I just, we're, I think it's a mistake to just pick the number out of the air, but we haven't tied it to anything on our fee schedule to understand how we can repeat this for the next two wonderful people that come in front of us that wanna do something for the community. So in principle, I absolutely am fine. We could, you know, in principle, I don't care if it was free that much, other than we have to pay for that building. You know, I don't wanna set something where we just go, I feel like today $500 is the right, I feel like today $250 is right. I wanna have something that's not blue sky, something we can come back and go boom, 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 this is why we did it.
This is why we did it. We charged that group
But then there was,
$450 a month
yeah,
to use
and-
armory.
and then I heard it was a 1,600, because when you look at it from a different angle, it's a different thought process.
They only paid $450. I don't care how you think about it. That's the reality.
but they're only in there for 4 days. I get what
But they
Matt
also
is
keep their
saying.
stuff.
And trust me, George, Matt and I have both been huge supporters and
I'm not saying you're
volunteered in
against
the,
it. I'm
in
just
the
saying.
Olivia haunted houses. It's not about the haunted house. It's about the rate that we're gonna give people that need that space for 2 weeks, and we're setting it now at that rate. Which is what becomes
The
difficult.
group that's going to forward the public interest. We're not gonna give it to some Joe Smo off the street that wants to sell cigarettes out there. For 2 weeks for $400 or for $225. This is something that's a community event.
All right, any other discussion?
I would just be a proponent to take a little more time to put together some logic behind what we're charging, not to, you know, to
You
make.
guys know it's not
A
you,
lot
right?
of them-
It's not even about you guys. If it was, and the thing is that there's areas that you can go to that we can ask for that money to help you so that it's not coming from that same place that was gonna help you anyway. You know what I mean?
But if the meetings are tomorrow, we wouldn't be able to.
I think.
Right, but if we could convince the tourism board, that didn't even help you last year and can't help you buy anything, but can help you rent something.
Right.
And then the city isn't stuck offering the community center for $225 for 2 weeks. You know what I mean? So it's not that we don't wanna do it, it's just that we know in the back end that we might be able to find you that money if we do set it at 500. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're willing, Matt's willing to reach out to people, we're willing to help you find the proper amount to pay. The problem is in setting that 250 or 225
220.
for 2 weeks. That's where we're afraid. We get the haunted house, we support the haunted house. We're willing to help find funds and help you out, figure out how to get to an amount that the city. Because again, at the end of the day, we have to justify that we have that building and that we maintain that building.
All right, so I'm anticipating a divided vote here, so we'll do it by roll call. Counselor Baumgartner,
Nay.
Evers,
Yes.
Ferguson,
Yes.
Howard.
Yes.
All right, motion carries.
Well, wait a minute. I get it.
It's not.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I was gonna, I wanna be on record as a name.
Y'all fix it later, I don't wanna be part of it.
Sometimes that is the strategy. Moving on, thank you guys very much.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
All right, solar panels on public buildings grant program.
Yeah, feel free to take off.
Thank you guys.
Bye, guys.
So there is a grant opportunity out there that's solar on public buildings. That I've been exploring, and I've had a conversation already with one of the staff involved in implementing the program. What it looks like is the grant, you can get about 70% of the solar installation, everything costs paid for through this grant, and then 30% can be paid through federal funds. With the 2022 Inflation Reduction Act, it actually made cities available for this federal tax credit, even though we don't pay into that. So it's like more of a federal rebate to get 30% off of the solar panel costs. So we could get installation of solar panels on public buildings, essentially 100% covered. Before I fill out all the paperwork, it's a 2-week turnaround time and application, and it's kind of first come, first serve for these funds. Before I start going down this road, because it has such a quick turnaround time, I wanted to know your all thoughts about pursuing this option. In no way would it let any of our city buildings exist off the grid. It would just decrease those utility costs. The 2 buildings that I've identified, and actually I identified a third this today that I thought might be good candidates. The wastewater treatment plant would be a very good candidate for it, uses a lot of electricity. The liquor store, as well as City Hall. City Hall and wastewater treatment plant, I would be advocating for ground mounted systems, just less damage in general to a roof. You don't have to worry about if you have to replace a roof, what you do with these solar panels. You can work with the state. They have 8 approved vendors already, so you don't have to necessarily go out and contract your own. That has been a concern in the past when I talk to staff about solar panels. Is they feel like some solar panel installation companies pop up one year and then they're out of business this next year, and what do you do for parts? So I would certainly, if we wanted to explore this grant opportunity, I would highly advocate for working with the state approved vendors, as they've done the heavy lifting when it comes to vetting those process. So that's what I can tell you about solar panels on public buildings grant, and just looking for council direction if you want me to keep proceeding in this direction, or
So this
Put it
is
away.
ultimately just going to,
public buildings
but it's going to assist in the cost
in the utility costs of those
by
departments.
that building.
I mean, we do pay electric wholesale rates, right? So it's not the same cost savings as somebody private, but I mean, that would be less power we are paying for.
I'm all for it. Especially if we can get this pretty much for free.
The other positive externality is that any energy we shave off the top of our peak that we get into Olivia lowers our overall rate of electricity, because that reduces the amount we buy from MMPA, where the Wappa Dam is our cheap power. So it's a net benefit for the people and for the city.
This would be, shaving off the amount of power we buy from MMPA.
That's the only devil advocate thing I would say. If it's gonna be ground mounted, where would, if it were to be here, where would you put it?
In that beautiful grass lot right there.
We don't foresee any need for future parking needs.
I feel like we've actually done really well with parking so far here. The couple of times at a fire call, I really haven't noticed a whole lot of difference, like, you'll see them come in. And then I would assume if we are trying to host really large meetings, like, let's say in 20 years, we do a street project where we invite the public to weigh in. We would have that at the Armory because that has a larger meeting space.
Also, no parking.
Just wanted to ask the question.
Yeah, no, it's a good question.
Seems like going at the water plant would be the logical.
Yeah, that'd be the,
Yeah,
yeah, that's a no brainer.
There's no limit to the amount of applications you can submit. If we wanted to, I could submit a site plan for every city-owned building.
Do it, see if it goes.
I mean, honestly, we could.
Well,
Right, yeah, well, and the more we have, the more it helps the city
Yeah,
and
more
bring the rates down, so yeah,
yeah, what's the?
definitely, yes.
You've got the armory that we're arguing about cost on already. You've got you're gonna move the electrical and you're moving people into that old garage, the old
Yep.
military building, the old garage out there.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's another one that would,
South facing.
yeah, anything that we can get that is going to cut the cost. I mean, we beat each other's brains out trying to figure out this budget and to not try to pick this dime up. That seems counterproductive.
I'll keep going down the path.
Yes,
Cool.
please.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Before I fill out a lot of paperwork, at least I'm going in the right
Like,
direction.
no,
I think that
we
it's,
changed our mind.
I think that it's great all the way around and every
Yeah.
building that we can put it on that's gonna help minimize our cost in any way, shape or form will benefit to the community.
Okay, we'll move down to reports here. Do you have any reports from staff?
I'm trying to think. The last 2 weeks have been, actually, the fourth week of the month and then a weird kind of fifth week of the month have been without committee meetings, so not a lot to report. It's a committee heavy week this week with council, with parks, with EDA, with PUC, all happening this week. So I anticipate a lot to be reported at the end of the month, and then we just have kind of our notices and communications of the different events that are coming up. I'll talk at that time.
Okay, community ed did meet. I would just like to inform the community that keep an eye on community ed. It seems as if there's going to be more focus on community ed as for the community as a whole, and not just for sports camps and things like that.
Early childhood.
Yeah, there's gonna be a lot of opportunities for members of all ages, I think, in the community, so keep your eyes open on that. I saw they're looking for a pickup volleyball league, so I mean, there's gonna be some action coming from them, so keep your eyes open there. We have some notices
Well,
including.
Mr. Mayor, you reminded me, you all got the email, but I will also say it for publicly, as you've probably read in the paper. The city partnering with the county and the hospital is a recipient of Minnesota Department of Education grant for $500,000, with a good over 400,000 of that going to improvements and repairs at the Armory. So that's very exciting. The funds must be expended by 2026. So we'll be seeing a lot of exciting improvements that have been on a wish list for a while actually get executed in the space, including air conditioning in the garage, in the gym.
Yeah, a lot of special thanks to the county for partnering with us on this, county EDA, and also to Jackie Edwards on spearheading the project. I know it was intended for a different facility, but I'm just really delighted that she found value in the Olivier Community Center as a fit for a landing zone for this place, or for these funds, so thank you. All right, notices and communications. We have Fire Prevention Week here. Holly, do you have anything to say about Fire Prevention Week?
There's lots that can be said about Fire Prevention Week. I don't have any specific information to put out for it. I know that the fire department's gonna have some different activities. Check your batteries in your smoke detectors, check the batteries in your carbon monoxide detectors. If they're over 10 years old, please replace them.
Because it doesn't matter if you replace the batteries in those every year, at the same time that you change the clocks. Once they get to a 10-year lifespan, you'll put a brand new battery in it, and at 2 o'clock in the morning, it's gonna start chirping. And you're gonna wake people up and get them out of bed for no good reason other than it's past its lifespan, so. Just keep that in mind, folks.
Thank you, Howie, and we have some good stuff.
And our fire department does a lot of outreach this week, so if you see them out, give them a friendly wave.
Public Power Week,
It is Public Power Week, so we are a public power utility, and so this is the week to kind of celebrate all things public power. So you'll see some stuff on our social media about those 2 different weeks this week.
go ahead and wrap up there.
Okay, trunk or treat and outdoor movie night at Dirks Park this Saturday. Trunk or treat starts at 5:30. We have a number of food trucks out there too. So far, we have 12 different groups, organizations, private residents registered to hand out goodies. If you're interested, it's not too late to order a car decorating kit off of Amazon to slap in your car and hand out treats. I would love to see you guys out there. And then the outdoor movie that we'll be showing at 7 o'clock once it gets dark is Coco. Then October 12th, the Bold Community Pool is trying some new and inventive programming. So they're gonna do a pumpkin pool plunge from 2 to 4 p.m. on Sunday to ring in the fall festivities. So very exciting.
Thank you, Elizabeth. Now we will go through the closed session process here. So a motion needs to be made and passed.
Pam has something.
Oh, I just wanted to logistically, when we come out of the closed session, we need to come back into open session to actually adjourn from our meeting. So with respect to the links, are you going to keep this link open or just rejoin this link at the time when we come out of public?
We're
Just
gonna
'cause
rejoin this link.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure that whoever is, I know that Ross is on here, that if there is a desire to come back, that the link is still open.
Yep, we will rejoin.
Mr. Mayor, before you go, I will add one thing to communications. Everybody knows October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Breast cancer affects 1 in 8 people. It is not a discriminatory cancer. It does affect males as well as females. So I would encourage, especially the females, to get the necessary testing so that they can stay in front of something like this. It's something near and dear to my heart. I lost my mother-in-law. She had a 35-year battle last year, so it's something that is very close to our family. And I would encourage all and everyone to make sure that they're doing the proper testing.
Thank you. Okay. A motion needs to be made and passed to go into closed session. So I'm going to call for the following motion. To close this meeting pursuant to Minnesota statutes 13D.05C3 to develop or consider offers or counteroffers for the purchase or sale of real or personal property described at PID 35-03840-00. I'm calling for that motion.
I'll make the motion. Go into closed session.
Motion made by Howard, seconded by Baumgartner. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Okay, we'll move into closed session then.
Give us a minute.
Coming back into open session here, the council met in closed session to discuss potentially developing an offer at PID 35-03840-00, and the council decided to not take any action on it. With no other business on the agenda here, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second. Motion is made by Howard, seconded by Evers to adjourn. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? We are adjourned. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.